What's going on, everybody? My name is Sola, Scriptura, back with another video. So I'm gonna try to keep this short. Just doing a little Christmas Christmas recap. Now that the dust is cleared, the smoke is settled. It's a whole week later, coming on New Year's Eve. That is. It's 6 days later, a week later. So I posted a lot of information. I thought it was valuable for Christians. I posted a lot of information on my main profile page, on my Facebook group of Sola Scriptura, and also to my channel. I remember a video where I was just like, not really dogging out, but exposing, this one Christian station, and which serves as a microcosm of basically all, like 95% or 98% of Christian radio stations all across America, and even Christian churches as well. They all celebrate the Roman Catholic holidays, Christmas, Easter, possibly even Valentine's Day, stuff like that. And so I was exposing, because there's this one song, I think it was about the Grinch. If I can find it, I'll leave it I'll make a link to it, to that video. It was like the Grinch, or I don't know, I forget what song it was, and I'm just like, what, really? This is playing on a Christian station. The Christian station is supposed to be, exonerating Christ and putting in singing and worship and praise, gospel music, and uplifting in the name of Christ, and encouraging believers with the music that is being played. So, again, I posted a lot of what I perceived was invaluable information in regards to exposing the satanic origins of these Roman Catholic holidays, and that no Christian of true discernment should be following after these things. And unfortunately, I lost a good friend along the way. Was sucked into a lot of arguments as well within my Facebook group, and even on the last video, I believe, in the comment section. And the thing about it was, even though these conversations, I think about like Titus 3:9 and another verse in Timothy that I often refer to, the two of them synonymous, about not getting into endless debates about genealogies and philosophies of man and things like that. It's interesting is that on my personal page, one of that good friend that I lost, I got to admit that that Christmas is a tradition of man. It's not biblical. It's not found anywhere in Scripture. It is a tradition of man, and therefore it must be avoided. Understood all of these things. That friend understood these things, but yet the friend still upheld Christmas with the idea that it's celebrating the birth of Christ, the made-up birth of Christ. I'll throw that in there, and that it's not specifically outlawed in Scripture, which it is. In the Old Testament, constantly Yahuwah tells the nation of Israel, the Hebrew nation, to avoid, to not be like the Gentile tribes, to avoid their customs, do not be like them, learn not the ways of the heathen, things of that matter often. And so that friend was agreed that it's a tradition of man, but did not draw the link that these things should be avoided. Traditions of men means it's unbiblical, means that it's actually satanic, because what is found in our hearts, corruptible man, because all of mankind is corrupted. Even though we've been born again, we've been regenerated by the quickening power of the Ruach HaKodesh, we're still at our core have the old Adam residing within us, which is why it's a constant battle between the flesh, the war of the flesh and the spirit of Christ, which is in Romans chapter 7. it's what Paul outlined right there in plain black and white letters. Is you will see it. It's a constant battle, which is why we must crucify our flesh daily. Paul says is that I die daily. So knowing these things is a constant battle between the flesh. And even though people might have thought, I guess, I'll give this. They probably thought about it in goodwill, that just like the pagan tribes in the Roman Catholic Church back then, they learned from the pagan tribes, hey, we should start celebrating our birthdays. Even though the only two examples in the scripture of the prophet Job, his children celebrated their birthdays, and Herod, I believe, celebrated his birthday at the wedding where John the Baptist was beheaded. So the only two examples of people celebrating their birthdays, they were it led to death. I believe there's even an article by Got Questions who actually lays this out, but unfortunately it goes being a liberal, kind of liberal, open Bible type of website. It endorses birthdays. It says it's no bad thing. So again, traditions of men, learn not the ways of the heathen. That's what they did. So the Roman Catholic Church learning the ways of the heathen. They celebrate birthdays. We should also celebrate the birthday of our Messiah. Granted, their Messiah was wishy-washy, whatever. Because again, the Roman Catholic Church is a blend of Christianity and paganism. The pagan tribes surrounding Rome, and that Rome conquered the Roman lands. So we blended all of these things together, and now fast forward roughly 2,000 years later, and here we are, still celebrating birthdays, just like the ways of the heathen. Still celebrating the Messiah's made-up birthday, which is linked to the birth of the sun god, Tammuz. So all of these things, as well as all of the different, and I laid them out in many different posts, many different video links, etc., throughout my Facebook group, the Sola Scriptura Facebook group, and my personal page, about how it's linked directly to pagan Germanic tribes, Norse tribes. I think it's like, and also St. Nicholas. The idea of St. Nicholas comes from Phoenicia, ancient Phoenicia. It's all these different things which came together which all came together into the Christ Mass holiday that we know today. I put a link, I believe, way back years ago, and I refer to it every so often, like every other year, about Krampus. The origins of Krampus, the origins of the reindeer, things like that. And people just don't care. They just don't care. And I get it, because even in the video link by Truth Unedited, shout out to Truth Unedited, is that I posted on my profile page, and said he flat out said, hey, don't even bother getting in these conversations, because the most honest believer in Messiah can just see, like, wait a minute, why is there a tree? Why do I actually gotta go buy a tree? Why am I decorating this tree and putting a star on top? Why do I put presents on the bottom, under the bottom, why am I doing any of these things? I'm decorating my house with the lights and the tree, with the garland, and et cetera, et cetera. And why is all of this done on this day, December 25th? What's the significance of December 25th? Because it's not biblical, so what's the significance of it? There must be something. Again, all these things are traditions of men. So I lost a good friend. I got in a lot of arguments along the way, unfortunately, that I was sucked into. Again, all these things are unfortunate, but nevertheless, I'm still going to adhere to the truth of Scripture. This channel is called Sola Scriptura for a reason. That's the name that I was chosen. I was told to give this channel, and which stems from Facebook ministry, which was many years in the making, like over a decade in the making, and has now been ongoing for 8 years now. Because Sola Scriptura is by the authority of Scripture alone. That's where I live and move and breathe. If there is anything that I'm doing that is contrary to Scripture, or is even like a gray area, I'm really going to question it. And 99% of the time, I'm going to avoid it right off the bat before I even go consult with anybody else, like a pastor or elder or anyone of that matter, deacon, bishop, whomever, evangelist. And then that person will just merely confirm what's already been on my mind. And that 1% of the time that I do consult with pastors and elders and deacons, they're going to say what I've already been told in my spirit, what I've already felt in my spirit. It's just to avoid this stuff. Many different things. I talked about wedding rings. I talked about the Roman Catholic holidays. I talked about so many things, even birthdays and things like that. And people just, my brethren, they just refuse. Okay, all right. Pray for your discernment, and I'll move on. Shake the dust off my feet. The thought that I had, even after that fallout, was that there's 7.5 billion people in this world. Vast majority of them, which are traveling on a road to destruction, they need to hear the gospel. Even people who have been born again, and are living a life of holiness, like according to a book of J.C. Ryle and another book by R.C. Sproul, the late R.C. Sproul, is they're living a life of holiness, but yet this is the daily gospel. So everybody, including myself, they constantly hear the gospel message impressed upon us, so that we can be like Romans 12:1 and 2, is present our bodies a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable unto the Messiah. Because it is Adonai who is our Father. It is Yeshua who redeemed us. He shed his precious blood on the cross. And so because he shed his precious blood on the cross, I'm living my best life for him. So that in all retrospect, is that with this life that I live, that I lead, that he leads, is again, the conclusion will remain the same, is that I will preach to others. I will preach, therefore I might win some. I don't want to stumble along the way. And if it were possible, that I'd be disqualified. I want to continue to press on towards the mark of my higher calling. And that's just a little recap. Go ahead and leave a comment on the section. You know what to do. Leave a comment on the bottom. I just want to go ahead and see what's going on with that. Now it's 6 days later. Like I said, the smoke is already cleared, and the dust is settled. Until next time.